Your mind needs to be like calm, clear, still water in control. But when life tosses a stone into it, do you let the ripples run you? Most people react without thinking anger, fear, frustration. They let their feelings guide their actions. But no, this true power is not in reaction, but in response. When you respond, you make a choice. You think prior to action you are in control. Imagine standing in the middle of turmoil, unmoved, untouchable. This is the key. This is the method. Train your mind and nothing shall disturb you. Let me demonstrate how most live their lives reacting. They let their emotions rule them. Anger, fear, frustration, someone insults them, and they blow up. A challenge arises, and they panic. They let the world outside control their inner world. But understand this. When you act without thinking, you surrender your power. You turn into a puppet of your feelings, rather than learning to control them. Why does this occur? Because individuals never mind train. They train their bodies. They pursue success, but they do not sharpen the one thing that governs everything, their thoughts. Without discipline, the mind is like a wild horse running in all directions. When something happens, rather than deciding how to react, they allow feelings to get in charge. This is weakness. The world will test you all the time. People will test you. Situations will tempt you. But losing control doesn't do anything except make it worse. Reacting out of anger does not correct the situation. Reacting out of fear does not take away the threat. If you wish to be strong, you will have to be able to calm down so you can think logically to make rational decisions. Most folks are slaves to their emotions. They do not reflect. They do not stop and think. They erupt. They collapse. They collapse. And afterward, they regret it. They regret. Say, I should not have said this. I should not have done this. But regret never changes what's already done. It simply signifies that they never were in control. True strength is when you act in the moment with wisdom, not regret later with shame. Look at a fight. The weak fighter reacts to every movement. Without thinking, he swings wildly, wastes energy, and soon he is defeated. But the strong fighter watches, calculates, and waits for the right moment. He does not react. He answers. This is how you need to live. Don't be a slave to instincts. Don't allow feelings to push you into action. Breathe, watch, and then act with exactness. One who acts rapidly is not powerful. One who has the ability to pause, process, and then act with control. That is power. Greatest warriors, greatest intellectuals, the best leaders all share this in common. They do not spend their energy on reaction. They spend their energy on strategy. They do not allow emotions to control them. They allow emotions to control them. They allow wisdom to guide them. If you wish to master yourself, begin by watching your reactions. When someone says something that provokes you, do not react immediately. When a problem comes along, do not jump into panic. Instead, breathe. Feel the emotion come up, but do not let it overwhelm you. Train yourself to slow down, to think, and then to act. This is the beginning of real power. The mind that is still is the mind that is in charge. Most people think power is from force, is from speed, is from action, but real power is from stillness, from the power to stay calm in the midst of turmoil. When your mind is clear, you see things clearly. You do not act blindly. You do not let emotions guide you. You select your response with precision, like a master swordsman waiting for the ideal strike. Stillness does not equate to doing nothing. It equates to being fully aware, fully present, fully in control. Imagine being in the center of a storm. Most people panic. They run. They allow fear to overwhelm them. But the one who remains stationary, who watches, who does not allow the storm to rattle them, that is the one who possesses true power. This is what you need to cultivate in yourself. Most people act on impulse. They rush, they react, they allow their feelings to carry them along like a leaf blown by the wind. But when you remain stationary, you become like a mountain, immovable, rooted firm. The world can go around you, but you never move unless you decide. This is the secret to mastery in life. In battle, everything, a quiet mind is a keen mind. It does not expend energy on useless emotions. It does not become stuck in distractions. It stays centered, precise, potent. When your mind is quiet, you listen to everything, you observe everything, and you comprehend more. Your mind becomes clear, your actions become deliberate, and your presence becomes potent. Stillness is not silence. It is consciousness. It is the capacity to stop, to witness, to process prior to acting. When you are angry, stillness enables you to view the situation for what it truly is. When fear threatens to overwhelm you, stillness provides you with the room to see it, to master it, to move forward with strength instead of hesitation in combat. Stillness is the difference between winning and losing. The fighter who is frantic, who moves without control, who reacts without thought, he is weak. But the fighter who remains still, who waits, who moves only when necessary, he is dangerous. This applies to life too. The one who remains cool under fire, who does not allow emotions to cloud his head, that is the one who will always emerge victorious. Stillness is an art. It does not come innately. You need to practice it. Each day, take time to remain quiet, to breathe, to calm your thoughts. Pay attention to your emotions without allowing them to get the better of you. Observe the world without hastening to respond. The more you are still, the stronger your mind is. Strong. No one is strong. No one, situation, no challenge can dominate you. Emotions are strong, but they must never dominate you. Most people are dominated by their emotions. They become angry when insulted, frustrated when things do not go their way, and afraid when confronted. Unknown. But I share this with you if something is able to provoke you. It governs you if you desire actual strength. You will have to know how to unplug from emotional triggers. You have to command yourself. Consider a puppet whenever somebody yanks on a string. It does. This is how the majority of people exist. A single word, a minor issue, an unforeseen challenge. They respond right away, be without regard. You are not a puppet, you are the master of your mind. And to prove it, you must break free from the things that trigger you when someone insults you. What happens? Most people react with anger. But why? The words have no power unless you give them power. If you detach, if you see words as nothing more than sounds, they cannot reach you. The same goes for fear, frustration, and doubt. They control you. Only if you let them. The moment you stop reacting, you become untouchable. Detachment is not that you do not feel emotions. It is that you feel them without being controlled by them. When anger comes up, you see it, but you do not act on it. When fear shows up, you recognize it, but you do not allow it to hinder you. You are the observer and not the prisoner of your feelings. This is actual mastery. Most people bind their feelings to things that they have no control over. Someone cuts them off while driving, and they bear anger. Throughout the day, someone disagrees with them, and they allow frustration to ruin their concentration. But tell me, does reacting alter the event quantity? Does anger resolve the issue quantity? Then why waste energy instead? Detach, let go, stay in charge. Detachment makes you strong. When you no longer respond, people lose control over you. They cannot make you angry. They cannot make you scared. They cannot disturb your peace. And when nothing can disturb you, you are free. The world spins around you, but within you remain calm, peaceful, focused, unstoppable. This is not simple. It takes training. Each time you feel triggered, pause. Do not respond immediately. Take a deep breath. Ask yourself, is this worth my energy most of the time? The answer is no. The more you practice, the stronger you become. And one day you will know you are no longer a slave to your emotions. You are the master of them, most of them. Most people respond too quickly. They hear something they don't like and they blow up. They have a problem and they freak out. But tell me, does acting quickly always result in the correct decision? Number speed without control is weakness. Power arises when you slow down, when you take a moment to think before you act. A mind that thinks too quickly is a mind that makes errors. Look at a fighter in the ring. The frail warrior swings wildly, responding to any movement without deliberation. But the master is calm, observing, waiting for the time to strike him, not rushing, not wasting energy, him responding with a precision rather than emotion. This is how you have to live, not rushing, not responding, but selecting actions with wisdom. Most issues do not need an immediate reaction. But people have conditioned themselves to respond immediately, to respond to each insult, to fight over each argument, to respond before thinking. This is why they pay the price. They regret what they say. They regret what they've done, because they never stop to think. Do not fall into this trap. Slow down, breathe. Give yourself room. Before you act, anger is the ultimate example of why slowing down is strong. When you respond with anger, you say things you do not mean, you make choices that hurt you later. But if you take a moment, if you stop, you will find the truth. Most things aren't worth your energy. Most fights are not worth having. Most reactions only complicate matters. Hold your power by managing your response. When you slow down, you have control. You do not let emotions compel you to act. Instead, you view the situation. Obviously, you know your options. You choose the answer that works best for you. This is true. True control, not having the world dictate to you, but rather directing your own path with wisdom and tolerance. Have you seen how a river flows? It does not rush around in frantic haste. It glides smoothly with direction, working the land into the shape it slowly takes. This is the way your mind must be. Do not let life push you into reactions. Flow with wisdom, adapt with thoughtfulness, move with strength, but never with desperation. Slowing down is not weakness. It is strategy in battle, in arguments, in decision-making. The one who takes time to think always has the advantage. The one who is calm, who listens, who observes, will always defeat the one who reacts without thinking. If you want to be in control, you have to learn patience. Consider the greatest warriors, the greatest leaders, the greatest minds. Were they reckless? Did they act hastily? In every decision number, they did not rush. They took their time. They calculated. They acted only when necessary. This is what sets the masters apart from the average. You need to learn to do the same. Do not go too fast. Do not talk too fast. Do not act rashly thinking. Slowing down is not doing nothing. It is ensuring that when you do act, it is the appropriate move. It means commanding your emotions, commanding your impulses, and commanding your energy. The people who react without thinking squander their power. The people who take their time get invincible. Your mind has to become like deep water, still. The surface strong underneath. When something occurs, do not respond immediately. Let the emotions subside. Let the mind think only then. When you are in control, should you respond? This is how you triumph in life, not by being the first to respond, but by being the one who responds with intention, practice. This every day. When someone speaks something that annoys you, pause. When you sense anger building up, breathe. When you have a challenge, think. Each time you slow down before acting, you are training your mind. And one day you will find you no longer act upon habit. You act out of mastery, recall. True strength lies not in the speed at which you act, but in how effectively you direct your movements. The world will continue to challenge you. But if you become master of this, if you practice slowing your reactions, you will be a force that nothing and nobody can shake. Be calm, stay alert, and react only. When the time is ripe, a warrior is not merely a person who fights with his fists. He fights with his brain, his self-control, his spirit. The warrior's mentality is not just about fighting. It is about how you live, how you think, and how you approach life's challenges. Most people exist in fear, in doubt, in hesitation, but a warrior moves with confidence, with clarity, with purpose. This is the mentality you have to build. The warrior does not wait for the ideal moment. He acts. He does not count on motivation. He counts on discipline. The majority of people wait for the right time, the right feeling, the right conditions, but the warrior knows that the right time is always now. He trains, he prepares, he sharpens his skills each and every day, whether he likes it or not. A true warrior masters his emotions. He does not choose. He does not act out of anger, fear, or frustration. He knows that emotions are weapons, but they do not dominate him. When others get desperate, he stays calm. When others crumble, he holds firm. The power of staying firm amidst upheaval is what distinguishes a warrior from the weak. The warrior's mind is clear and concentrated. He never indulges in frivolities, on useless quarrels, on matters that do not contribute to his development. Each step he takes is deliberate. Every word that comes out of his mouth is meaningful. This is the reason why warriors are feared, since their concentration is unshakable and their energy is never lost. A warrior understands pain. Pain is part of the process. He does not complain. He does not seek an easy way. He accepts the struggle because he understands that each challenge is an opportunity to get stronger, while others flee from pain. The warrior travels through it in the knowledge that every step is making him more stronger. Discipline is at the core of the warrior mentality. It is not a matter of feeling enthusiastic. It is one of doing the things that require doing, independent of mood, independent of situations. The weak waits for the favorable mood, the favorable set of circumstances. The warrior does not wait. He initiates action. He works. He hones himself every day because he knows that strength is developed through consistency. A warrior does not look for approval. He does not care about what other people think. He walks his own way, guided by his own principles. Most people live for approval, for acceptance, for the approval of other people. But a warrior knows if you follow the crowd, you will never be free. Walk alone if you have to, but never betray yourself. Fear does not halt a warrior. He senses it, but he does not yield to it. Fear is normal, but allowing it to dominate you is weakness. The warrior recognizes fear, but he advances anyway. He knows that courage is not the lack of fear. It is behaving in spite of it. Each time you advance in spite of it, each time you advance in spite of fear, you become stronger. The warrior does not squander time griping. He does not blame anyone. He does not excuse himself if something is amiss. He corrects it. If he does not succeed, he learns. If he falls, he gets up again. Most individuals waste time blaming the world for their troubles. The warrior is personally responsible for what he does, his way of thinking, and his fate. The warrior is a learner. He does not fight change. He flows with it like water. When one path is closed, he finds another. When life tests him, he adapts and keeps going. Rigidity is weakness, but adaptability is strength. The warrior grows. He gets better. He never remains the same. A warrior does not pursue comfort. He knows that comfort weakens the mind, slows the body, and dulls the spirit. Instead, he seeks challenges. He pushes himself outside of boundaries. He exists beyond his comfort zone where others remain, where it is safe. The warrior goes into the unknown because he understands. That is where true growth occurs. You have a decision. Live like the average person responds, hesitates, waits, or think like a warrior. Prepare your mind, condition your actions, dominate your emotions. The instant you take on the mindset of the warrior, you are invincible. The world cannot destroy you. Distractions can't break you, and no obstacle can conquer you. The warrior's mentality is the way to mastery. Walk it with courage. Life is motion. Life is transformation. Nothing remains constant, and those who won't change are left behind. A stiff mind is a weak mind, but a malleable mind is strong. If you want to be successful, you have to learn how to adapt like water to flow, when necessary to change, when necessary to evolve with each challenge. This is the way of mastery. Most individuals do not like to change. They clutch old habits, old beliefs, old thinking, even if they no longer hold anymore. But tell me, can a tree that will not bend weather a storm? How many it will break, but the tree that sways, that is moved with the wind, that adapts to the storm, it stands. Be like that tree. Be flexible. A warrior is never fixated on one path. He observes many ways. He learns from many. He is not obstinate. He is not stuck in one way of thinking. He sees that life is constantly changing. And in order to master life, he needs to transform all along. Well, the strongest fighters are not the ones who fight back. They fight back. They fight back by evolving. Adaptation is not weakness. A clever man does not waste time grumbling about issues. He seeks solutions. He does not whine about obstacles. He seizes a way past them. Every predicament has a way out, but only those willing to adapt will succeed. This is the reason that adaptability is essential for survival on the battlefield. If your enemy waiting for you to come at them one way, catch them off guard, and do so differently. If they are blocking one road, take an alternative path. This is the way you will need to exist. Do not be expected. Do not be set in stone. Be fluid. Be imaginative. Be open to adjusting your plan when needed. The one who adjusts is the one who wins. Most individuals shy away from change. They prefer that things do not change because it is what is known. But safety is merely an illusion. Nothing stays the same perpetually. The people who succeed in life are ones who adapt, who learn to acquire new things, who continually make themselves better. Do not fight the future, prepare for it. Adaptation is the path of the wise. Your biggest strength lies not in what you already know, but in your capacity to learn, to grow, to change. A person who believes they know everything has already lost, but a person who remains open, who willing to learn from each situation, will keep on rising. Never cease adapting. Never cease learning, never cease. Better perspective of nature. Only the flexible survive. The strongest creatures are not the most powerful, but the most adaptable ones who fit into their surroundings. They evolve, they adapt, they learn new means of survival. You have to be the same. If one door closes, find another entrance. If one plan does not work, create another one. This is the mentality of a true warrior. Adaptation involves consciousness. You have to see, you have to learn. You have to be willing to release what no longer serves. Most people are holding on to old things because they don't want to change. But fear is the nemesis of advancement. If something is not aiding you to grow, let it go. If a thought is keeping you in weakness, change it. Be willing to grow. Some individuals are stuck in their own stubbornness. will not change. They do not want to learn. They do not want to grow. But life is not going to wait for them. Life just keeps going. And those who fail to change will be left behind. If you wish to be strong, you must be willing to change. You must be willing to change. You must be willing to release what no longer benefits you. A warrior does not complain about situations, he adapts to them. If the road is blocked, he takes another route. If the obstacle is too difficult, he prepares himself. He does not waste time dreaming of a different situation. He looks at what is before him and manages to triumph. This is the strength of adaptation. Being a master of adaptation is being a master of life itself. The world will never be the same. People will come and go, situations will come, fall. But if you can adapt, if you can change, if you can flow with the currents of life rather than fighting against them, then nothing will be able to hold you back. Be like water, and you will always manage to find a way forward. Your body gets stronger through training, but so does your mind. Most people recognize the importance of exercising their muscles, but they overlook the strongest muscle of all, their mind. If you do not train your mind, it will stay weak, unfocused, and easily broken. But if you handle it like muscle, if you push it, challenge it, and sharpen it every day, you will create mental strength that nothing can shake. A weak mind is easily controlled by fear, doubt, and distraction. It jumps from one thought to another, never concentrated, never punished. But a strong mind is keen, consistent, and strong. Sees through it, thinks thoroughly, and it does not shatter under pressure. If you wish to be unshakable, you have to exercise your mind like a warrior exercises his body. Exercising the mind takes effort, just like weight lifting. You have to challenge yourself every day. Read hard books, solve problems, think thoroughly. Do not let your mind grow lazy. Most people fill their days with entertainment, but they never challenge their minds to grow. They are weak because they do not train. Do not be like them. Discipline is the secret of mental strength. If you do not master your thoughts, they will master you. Thoughts, they will master you. If you do not train your thoughts, distractions will eat you up the same way. A fighter trains his reflexes. You have to train your mind. Each day, challenge yourself to be more concentrated, more present, more aware. This is how you create unbreakable mind. Doubt and fear are indications of an untrained mind. When your mind is not strong, you're uncertain. You second guess, you feel helpless. But when your mind is trained, fear no longer has power over you. You recognize it, but you do not allow it to hold you back. A strong mind confronts fear head on and advances anyway. This is the difference between mastery and weakness. Just as a warrior disciplines his body, he disciplines his mind with silence, meditation, and contemplation. Stillness is not emptiness. It is strength. When you silence the noise in your mind, you become conscious, you become sharp, you get in charge. Most humans are afraid of silence because they do not want to face themselves, but you should not be afraid of it. You should control it. Mind training is a matter of resilience. A warrior trains once and anticipates remaining strong forever. He trains daily to hone his craft, to test his limits. The same goes for your mind. You cannot train and anticipate strength forever. You need to test yourself each day through discipline. Through self-mastery, mind is like a sword. It has to be sharpened each day, or else it will dull. How do you sharpen your mind? By reading powerful words, by challenging your own thoughts, by training your concentration. Every minute you take to strengthen your mind is an investment in your power. The stronger your mind, the more control you have over your life. Most individuals let others program their minds. They pick up opinions, trends, follow fashion, and never reflect, but an educated mind is free. It interrogates it, thinks it does not blindly follow. If you desire to be robust, you need to train your mind to think hard, to look for truth, to establish your own way of life. Agony and strife belong to mental exercise. Just like muscles are developed through resistance, the mind is developed through resistance. The mind is developed through challenges. When life tests you, do not flee, confront it. Every obstacle you conquer makes your mind stronger. Every adversity is a chance to train your resilience. A warrior does not shun strife. He uses it to develop a strong mind. It's not developed in comfort. It is developed in discipline, in strife, in pushing beyond boundaries. If you never challenge yourself, your mind will always be weak. But if you have a habit of training your mind every day by thinking deeply, by accepting discomfort, by remaining disciplined, you will have a mind that cannot be broken. Ultimately, your mind is your best weapon. If you train it, you will be ready for any challenge, any battle, any adversity. But if you ignore it, you will be governed by the world around you. Condition your mind like a muscle. Make it strong, make it sharp, make it unbreakable. And when life challenges you, you will stand firm, because you have already emerged victorious from the battle within. To be untouchable isn't to be invincible. It is to control yourself so completely that nothing external can shatter you. Most people are governed by their feelings, by what other people say, by situations they have no control over. But you, if you condition your mind, if you hone your discipline, if you conquer your feelings, will be in a place where nothing shakes your peace. This is what it is to be untouchable. People will offend you. They will question you. They will attempt to drag you into their mess. But an untouchable mind does not respond. It does not seek validation. It doesn't squander energy on pointless fights. It stays constant, unruffled, centered when you no longer require acceptance, when you no longer get sucked in by negativity. You are emancipated, and freedom is the greatest power. Most individuals are slaves to their environment. They are content when things go well, but fall apart, when things go awry. But tell me what sort of power is that real strength is when nothing outside of yourself can move you, whether you lose or win, whether men praise or criticize you, whether days are good or bad. You never change. You don't move unshaken, untouchable to become untouchable. You have to quit reacting. Most humans react right away to anything. They get upset, hurt, they get distracted. But the warrior notices. He does not act blindly. He makes a decision about how he responds. This is the distinction between being controlled and being in control. If you want to be unshakable, master, your response is there will always be distractions, temptations, things that try to draw you off your course. The weak pursue them. They lose their focus, they waste their energy. But the untouchable mind remains on course. It does not matter what is going on around you. If you know why you are here, if you know where you are going, nothing can divert you from it. Pain is unavoidable. Difficulties are certain. Life will not always be fair. But if your head is strong, if you have conditioned yourself to withstand, nothing will shatter you. The difference between the weak and the strong is easy. The weak let pain conquer them, while the strong make it fuel. Be the one who learns from adversity, not the one who fails because of it. The world will try you with disorder. People will try you with theatrics. Your own mind will try you with uncertainty. But the one who is impenetrable does not get caught up in these snares. He remains above it all. He walks through fire, unfazed by the flame. This is not arrogance. This is control. This is mastery over self. Most people are controlled by fear. fear, fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of being alone. But fear only has power if you give it power. The untouchable mind does not flee from fear. It observes fear, comprehends it, and then moves on anyway. Courage isn't the lack of fear. It is the willingness not to be controlled by fear. If you want to be untouchable, you need to eliminate weakness. Weakness in mind, weakness in habits, weakness in discipline on a daily basis. Ask yourself, what is holding me back? And eliminate it. If it is self-doubt, demolish it with action. If it is distraction, eradicate it with focus. If it is fear, overcome it with courage. You are either strengthening your mind or letting it get weak. An untouchable man does not waste his time proving himself to others. He does not argue with fools. He does not seek revenge. He does not justify himself to people who do not matter. His actions speak for him. His discipline defines his strength. His presence commands respect. When you are really strong, you don't have to prove it. Your life will do it for you. Picture a rock in the center of a torrent of river. The water thumps against it. The wind rages, but the rock stands. This is how you need to be. The world will try to push you, to shatter you, to try you. But if your base is solid, if your mind is disciplined, if your intention is clear, nothing will move you. You will stay constant, untouchable. The aim is not to dominate the world. It is to dominate yourself. When you control your feelings, your reactions, your thoughts, you turn into untouchable. No abuse can harm you. No failure can shatter you. No obstacle can arrest you. This is the ultimate level of strength, not physical, but mental, emotional, and spiritual. Train for it. Live it, become it, and nothing in this world will ever shake you again. Control your mind, and you control your life. The weak react. They let anger, fear, and doubt dictate their actions. But the strong respond with clarity, with purpose, with mastery. This is the difference between those who are controlled and those who are in control. Every moment you have a choice. Will you be a slave to your emotions, or will you transcend them? Train your mind to be stable, like water flowing, conforming, never disturbed. When you master this, nothing can shatter you. Now go implement this wisdom, sharpen your discipline, and tread your path with unshakable strength.